Hi guys, Harry here, and with the Doctor Who and Disney Plus deal, of course, going through and us getting more information on that, it seems like Disney will have more creative control over Doctor Who than we first thought. So, is the character of Rose that Yasmin Finney is playing going to be someone that we have seen before? But before we get into the video, don't forget to subscribe, also leave a like and comment down below, and let's get in to the video. So, of course, I am talking about Yasmin Finney, obviously the fairy that she is, Rose Tyler, or an alternate version of Rose Tyler. Of course, it's not hard to see the similarities, because obviously we've got Russell T Davies returning as showrunner, we've got David Tennant returning as the Doctor, and we've got Catherine Tate returning as Donna Noble. And they have all come across Rose Tyler in the show in some way, shape or form. Of course, Russell T Davies cast Billie Piper as Rose Tyler for the revival of Doctor Who, obviously as the companion to the 9th and 10th Doctor. Of course, David Tennant played the 10th Doctor, so Rose was his companion, and also Donna Noble came across Rose during the adventures of Turn Left, Stolen Earth, and Journey's End. So, of course, it's not hard to see the similarities between Yasmin Finney's character of Rose and, of course, Billie Piper's Rose Tyler. Of course, the reason why I'm doing a video on this very now is because of the Disney Plus Doctor Who streaming deal, where Disney Plus has the rights to stream Doctor Who outside of the UK and Ireland. And, of course, Disney has a whole kind of cinematic universe now, not just even in the MCU, like their other projects they have connect in little ways to other projects they're doing, like there's been nods or Easter eggs in the background, and that isn't, that's ignoring the whole entire of the MCU, which is an interconnected universe where one story connects to the next one, or it could tie back to the first movie, or the first movie, could tie to a middle one, and that could tie to the last one. All the stories in that are connected. And with Doctor Who, of course, having a similarly interconnected universe, and of course the showrunner Russell T Davies wanting to do an interconnected universe, it is very clear to see how Disney might have creative control of Doctor Who, building it into in their universe, of course the Disney universe, as well as broadening the Doctor Who universe. And in the Disney universe, I think the first place Doctor Who would show up, where Doctor Who's universe would be designated in, of course, Disney's ever-expanding universes, multiverses, I think Doctor Who, the universe, could be designated in Marvel, in their main universe that we see, Earth-838. And of course, Marvel has already partnered with Doctor Who to create comics, like Doctor Who has co-produced comics with Marvel, and the Doctor has met with other Marvel characters. But that was originally designated as Earth-5556. That was kind of designated as the Whoniverse in Doctor Who comics co-created with Marvel. Of course, again, time has moved on a bit. That was up until the 8th Doctor, and we haven't seen anything with the new Who Doctors. But of course, Russell T Davies has wanted to create like a Marvel cinematic universe in Doctor Who. And the reason I said that Doctor Who could be in the Marvel 616 universe, as it's known as in the MCU, I could see Doctor Who showing up there because, again, he's probably the most like a superhero that isn't a superhero that we have, on a Disney platform. But, of course, he hasn't appeared in, of course, the MCU yet because, Disney didn't own anything about Doctor Who before now. And you might be thinking, well, this doesn't make sense that Doctor Who is in the MCU universe, because look at all the stuff that happened in Doctor Who, and the MCU hasn't even referenced it. Well, let's look at what has happened in the Doctor Who universe. So, of course, in Classic Who, the canon is all over the place. He has been revealed as a human, a half-human, Time Lord, President. I mean, the canon in Classic Who has been all over the place. And of course, Doctor Who is it's not new to retconning. It can retcon a lot of things. Just look at the Timeless Child. So I think a lot of the things in Classic Who can be overlooked. So we move into New Who, where the events of Series 1 to Series 5 don't really take place. The Doctor reset the universe at the end of Series 5. So from everything in Series 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, they didn't really happen, at least how we remember it. So, let's look at all the invasions we've had in Doctor Who from Series 6 onwards. Of course, we've had Cybermen kind of invading grave sites in Series 10. We've also had Daleks invading the Earth like every, New Year's special during the Chibnall era. And of course, we've had the events of Flux. Now, of course, I think we can overlook the Cybermen and the Dalek invasions, as only, at most, a couple hundred at most were killed during those invasions. And so I think it's safe that we can overlook them. But you might be thinking, well, what about the Flux? So let's look at Flux. I think Doctor Who has just forgotten about Flux. Literally, in the next 3 specials we had after the Flux, it was never mentioned again. It seems like the universe was put back to its normal state. So, I don't think Flux is a big deal. I think it's just been retconned out of existence, really. I just think it's been forgotten about. So we don't need to add that into the MCU either. So all of this could have gone on in the background, exactly like the Netflix Marvel heroes, of course, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, The Punisher, and we've seen Daredevil, Matt Murdock, from the Netflix Defenders in the MCU, in Earth-838. So it's not too hard that Doctor Who could be added into the MCU. Now you might be thinking, well, how does this connect to Yasmin Finney's Rose? Well, what if I told you Yasmin Finney is from a universe we've already seen? Let's say Doctor Who is now in the MCU. So Rose Tyler would be designated as Rose Tyler of Earth-816. Maybe Yasmin Finney's Rose is another Rose Tyler, but this time from a universe that we have only seen once, and that once, of course, in the MCU. I think Yasmin Finney could be a Rose Tyler from Earth-838. And I think this could be insane. Of course, it's my theory, so, I mean, none of this is confirmed, of course, but I think it could be insane that Yasmin Finney is an 838 version of course, the Rose Tyler we all know and love. And I'm going to say Yasmin Finney will have completely different characteristics to our Rose Tyler. She will have a completely different personality, but she will still be called Rose Tyler, but just from a different Earth. Of course, in the MCU and Doctor Who, we have seen other universes. We have seen parallel universes in Doctor Who. We have seen pocket realities in Doctor Who. We have seen just weird other universes like E-Space in Doctor Who. And in the MCU, again, we have seen parallel universes, and we have seen other weird universes like the Paint universe in the MCU, like we saw in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. And with Russell T Davies wanting Doctor Who to build up as a kind of MCU style universe, it would just make sense to put them in the same universe, as they could expand their characters together, and then, of course, Disney would want the IP to just grow more and more to get more money, of course. So it would make sense from a Disney's perspective to add Yasmin Finney from a universe that we've already seen, 838. And incursions have been seen a lot more in the MCU. Of course, we've seen characters crossing over. Of course, Matt Murdock from the Netflix series, Daredevil from the Fox X-Men universe, Hugh Jackman Wolverine from the Fox X-Men universe. There's, of course, loads of characters just crossing over into the MCU now. So if Doctor Who really wants to expand its brand and Disney has more creative control over Doctor Who than we first thought, it's not too far out to think that Yasmin Finney is an 838 version of Rose Tyler. Now, before you get up in arms saying, well, you're just being an idiot, saying that, well, Yasmin Finney is Rose Tyler, I mean, that's just a rehash. Russell T Davies isn't going to overwrite his own character. And you're exactly right. This isn't going to be the Rose Tyler we already know. Maybe Earth-838. I don't know what the universe will be defined as if Disney does decide to bring Doctor Who into the MCU. But I could say that Doctor Who has happened in the background of the MCU. So, yes, he isn't going to overwrite Rose Tyler of Earth-616. However, this is going to be a completely different Rose Tyler. Yasmin Finney is playing Rose Tyler from a different Earth. Maybe Earth-838. So, this is a completely different Rose Tyler. Again, she won't have the same personality or characteristics as our Rose Tyler. Just look at the Rose Tyler from Pete's World. That Rose Tyler is a dog. No one compared Dog Rose Tyler to Billie Piper's Rose Tyler because that would be absurd. And the same thing would happen with Yasmin Finney and Billie Piper's Rose Tylers. It would be absurd to compare these characters because they are different characters from different universes. They only have the same name and maybe the same family. But I just think it would be something insane and crazy that would grow the Doctor Who universe more, that with Gallifrey kind of back but then destroyed and then the Time Lords being converted into Cybermasters, how would travel between parallel universes work? But that is just my thoughts. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of this theory. If you think Yasmin Finney is playing another version of Rose Tyler from a different universe, or whether she's playing a completely different character like Donna's daughter. But of course, this video is just my thoughts. Of course, if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like, also subscribe, and share it out. And I will see you in the next one.